What is up, everyone? Alright, so today is another showcase video. We are showcasing my totem build that is allocated to my Hierophant. And if you're not familiar with me showing you this on stream, I'm going to break down the gears really quick. I'll break down the passive tree, break down the skills, and then I'll give you all a showcase and what my general thoughts are afterwards. So the big thing that this build revolves around is Iron Commander. So this is a totem base build. This is why I spec through Hierophant. And we are going to use Siege Ballistas. So every 200 decks that we have, we get one extra Siege Ballista. We have a little bit over 2,000 after stuff that we take on the tree, stuff that we get through Ascendancy, and plus all the gear. We can have a total of 17 of them. So as you can see, we can have it up to a 17. And it's really good, feels really good once you get into those higher points. Now, there are a few things that I could do to upgrade this further that I could get way more damage out of. But at this point, I want to move on to other things. I'm enjoying where this guy is. Same thing with my Flicker build. Yeah, there's things I can upgrade. But I'm kind of okay with where he is. I've put a good bit of currency into him. I've played him a lot. I've kind of tweaked everything the way I like it. And I'm happy with how it is. So, first things first. Obviously, we're using Iron Commander. We want Fractal Thoughts for the increased dex if strength is higher intelligence. Increased multiplier of dex is higher than intelligence. Obviously, dex is going to be our highest, then strength. So we get the increased dex multiplier. We get the increased elemental damage. And then the life is whatever. You can use it. It's great. Ideally, you want to use Siege Ballista on this. Has the increased attack speed. We're going to use Hyrie's Demise. Try to get a high attribute, high attack speed. If you wanted to go one step further, you could vol this and get the +1 arrow or bow attack shoot +1 additional arrows. We went for increased dex. I rolled this on stream. I was using essences for high dex, high all attributes. So this is actually competing with an Astra Mentis for strictly just the explicit stats. And then having the increased dex on top of that makes it just that much better. Came with like mediocre mods. The rest of it's kind of meh. Rings, high dex, fire, cold, lightning, usual res. Ideally, you would want to have % dex for your implicits on these rings. This one I went for the cursed elemental weakness per hit. And then your generic life resist, stuff like that. Gloves, rolled these on stream as well. I opted in for the grip gloves. You can go with a different pair of gloves, that you can roll some implicits on, but I wanted the increased dex %. I wanted the high dex. I wanted the high life, so I went and got these, got lightning on them, so that felt really good. Boots, we went ahead and rolled some implicits. The upgrade to these are good boots, don't get me wrong, but the upgrade to this would be boots that have 2 to 4 cold damage per 10 dex. That would be the upgrade that you could get off that. For the belt, increased dex, high life, good across the board. And then the chest piece we could use, not best in slot, but the most affordable in slot right now is going to be a wild wrap. Increased dex, attack speed, increased damage per 15 dex. You know, just as you can see, everything's either giving us % dex increase or is scaling off dex. The upgrade to this could be, it's a rare Esh chest, and it is like 1% per 15, or 1% increased damage. Maybe it's increased attack speed like per 15 dex. And then you'd roll it as a, and then you'd slam it together with an Elder mod for % dex, and then you'd roll high dex on that. Incredibly expensive. They're like 40 exalts for like a really bad one. But that technically would be the upgrade for this. Looking at my skill gems, we're going Inspiration Support, Anomalous Siege Ballista because we want those additional projectiles. Cold Pin, because we already have a lot. We could technically run Omni on this. Oh, no, we couldn't. I lied. We could not run Omni because we're stacking, but you'd want an Awaken Cold Pin. Elemental attack with elemental damage with attacks. Faster attacks. This can get switched out with Barrage. I have that on for my clear. And then increase crit because we do crit a lot. For some of my auras, clarity, we don't use clarity. We strictly use it for the ball clarity whenever we go up to a boss, so that we don't sit there and throw out 5 or 6 totems, then 5 or 6 more, then 5 or 6 more. We can just go in there, pop ball clarity and haste, drop down all 17 at once, and then whenever the boss is done doing its thing, we can go ahead and get into it. Increase duration for that clarity. Flame Dash for movement. Summon Ice Golem for the extra crit. Frenzy, which is going to be the way that I generate my Frenzy charges. I have Frenzy, Pierce support, just for extra, little bit extra damage, trying to get more Frenzies easier. Culling Strike and GMP, literally just ease of life stuff. Precision for extra crit. Going down here, we have Skitter Rods so that we can shock nearby enemies. Frost Bomb for that negative 15 cold resistance. Mark on hit and Sniper's Mark really only applies whenever we hit a rare or unique enemy with Frenzy. And seeing as we have Whispers of Doom, we have 2 different curses. We have the Elemental Hit, and then we have that Sniper's Mark. Looking into the tree, we're just grabbing, going up here, grabbing Dex. You can grab Life. If you're struggling with Resistance, you can grab this Resistance. We threw in Fluid Motion right here for the plus Dex, and all Strength is put into Dex, so now that's Dex Intelligence. All of this is Dex. Grab the extra Dex here. We get into Ascendancies a little bit later. Come down through here. If you had money and wanted to push it further, you could take this node by taking these 2 resistances, and you put was it uninspired, or it's like a 10x jewel, and it allocates everything that's not allocated in the vicinity. So you get some movement speed, you get a bunch of life, get some projectile damage, get some evasion. We also took Mage Bane so that our spell resistance is capped, or spell suppression. Rain of Splinters for the additional 2 arrows. Oh, for bossing, we're going to switch out the Barrage support, just so we can have that better single target damage. Going down through here, grabbing this for extra conversion, extra damage. Point blank is really good, especially when you're in a small boss room. You're putting all the totems on top of there. They're not shooting further than 10 units. Really, really good for extra 30% more damage. I wanted to go the armor route, even though I'm not running any armor base. Right now my armor is 33. You could also put 2 more into here to get extra armor on top of that. But for now, I think Iron Reflexes feels fine where it is. Extra life. Watcher's Eye. This could be upgraded. Watcher's Eye, you could go for a damage penetration of 15%. And then for a second mod, you could go for precision increases attack speed. More attack speed you have on this, the faster your ballista is going to fire, and just the better it's going to feel. Went for the +1 frenzy charge here. Obviously took the Dex wheel. Right here we went increased projectile damage per 16 Dex. Whole reason we took that. +1 to totems here, and then we got the increased global crit strike chance if we've summoned. For the brutal restraint, doesn't matter what it is. You just want to go ahead and grab one. Grab one, the best one you can. Luckily, mine came out with increased elemental damage here, and then everything has a plus on Dex. Movement speed, if I wanted to, I really wish it would have been better. You can get % Dex on these. I wish that I could have got some % Dex on this stuff, but didn't get it. That's okay. Went down here for the extra physical is cold for even more damage. Got some crit multiplier here. For our small passives, blanketed snow, cold to the core. Really important because cold to the core gives us the 1% cold damage per 25 Dex, and then seeing as we don't have low on anything except intelligence, everything else is pretty good. You get just a lot of percent increased cold damage, more penetration over here. Onslaught whenever we summon totems, and then totem duration is nice, but it's more of a quality of life than anything else. And then increased totem speed, placement speed, really good. Exact same mods over here. We got a bronze to increase our dex even further. And then I put in a split personality. You can put another split personality there, may or may not be better. But if you do, you're gonna want to find another socket that you can put that bronze, because losing that 6% is really big. So yeah, pretty easy breakdown of all the gear. We'll do a T16 showcase. So not everyone is going to enjoy playing this build. So what I do, I pop all my flask and I just kind of run around putting totems in front of me, waiting for things to happen. And as you can see, like, I don't even have all the totems attacking anything, but like 1 or 2 totems can clear screens pretty well. So you just kind of meander along. If you get into a big pack of things, I'm not even using Frenzy. Hold on, let me get my Frenzy charges up. So with the Frenzy and plus 17, we're at, hold on, let's see, about 240 on this. We're not going to really worry about clearing the entire thing because everyone's cleared Crimson Temple 100 times this league. Go for a really simple boss switch. Actually, we're going to get a little bit more on this because I want to be able to get that Vol, yeah, there we go, Vol clarity up. Just want to kind of show you how this was going to go. I am also going to pop a Sentinel just to kind of show you all how strong this can be. Oh no, yeah, you will die to very large one shots. But even though you died, you can still go through and your totems will still do good damage. They'll last a little bit, but once they're gone, they're gone. I don't want to end on that note. We're going to do one more. That is the only thing. If you had a yeah, that one's fine. Oops. If you had like 2 more skill points, I would probably invest it into this. Actually, here, I'll just show y'all. Like, you don't have a bunch of life, but you don't really need a ton of life. So investing these other 2 into here will put you at 9,000, and then you could run something else. You could take off like the Taste of Hate and put on like a I'm just gonna show you all a second setup. Let's just do like 1500 armor. Yeah, that'll be fine. We're gonna take that off, switch that over. So with everything set up, go back here, pop that flask. 12,000, not the most, but it's something. Delirium is not a problem. The only thing that can be a problem and really just slows everything down, Cold Reflect really sucks. And then doing no regen is not possible because you have your totems. Oh, I should probably activate all this. Because your totems regen your mana, you don't run a mana flask. I mean, you could run a mana flask, but it just wouldn't feel super great. I'm going to switch that. And then this is really how it's supposed to go. So super quick, really clean. That's kind of the better version of the bossing, but that's exactly how it's supposed to go. Don't get one shot. That is the one thing I will say about this build. It is not the most defensive build in the world, but it gets the job done. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm happy where it is. I've told y'all some of the upgrades. If y'all have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And then if y'all ever want to see on what new builds I'm working on, definitely come by the stream and see what I'm doing. We're going to be starting a series here soon where I'm going to be taking only the 1% or less skill gems that I think would be good, and I'm going to see if I can make them T16 Uber Pinnacle viable. But with that being said, y'all have a good rest of your night.